still without their second leading scorer, Hannah Stolke, last year's Big Ten Sixth Player of the Year, missing her third straight game with an injury.
Yeah, Sharon Goodman, though, has really stepped into that starting center role. Lisa Bluter telling us she really likes how Caitlin Clark and Sharon Goodman are finding their partnership on the floor together.
Caitlin Clark, we talked about it in the open, nearly 30 points per game this season. She is staring down 3,000 points for her career. She's 46 away. That's her career high, Kim, but you always feel like that is within reach whenever she steps on the court.
Oh, absolutely. Just a bucket waiting to happen.
And it will be Iowa's ball to start things out. This team trying to settle into some consistency, something they've only known the last 2 years. And they will start it off with a turnover. That lob inside the Goodman going awry. Bowling Green selected 4th in the MAC in the preseason poll, making the MAC title game 2 of the last 3 years, but coming up just short. On the way to the basket, no good by the freshman Kohler. And on the move is the Hawkeyes. Great defense there by Fleming.
Yeah, how about the hands on both possessions so far for Bowling Green?
Velasco misses everything. And this is an environment where, Kim, you maybe have to settle into. We're looking at, 10,000 plus, even though there's so many Hawkeye fans in Indianapolis for the football championship game, as we get a look at Lisa Bluter in her 24th season. Honored before this game for her 500th win here in Iowa City.
Yeah, just has been a huge part of this city, this state.
Caitlin Clark starting things out with her first 3 to get Iowa on the board.
And Caitlin Clark's efficiency has really risen in the last couple of games. Last 4 games, shooting 50% from deep.
Velasco trying to get downhill, forces it up and in. She's on a real hot streak, scoring the game winner in their victory over Duquesne the last time out.
Yeah, tough bucket for Velasco. We know this team could shoot it from the 3, but aggressive early on.
Clark threading the needle. Goodman couldn't quite handle it, but the possession rolls on. Tend to shoot for the Hawkeyes. Trying to reignite this possession. Nice slip, and it's Marshall who can't connect. But staying right here.
And you see the great read from Caitlin Clark. That time Bowling Green aggressively jumped that screen, sending 2 defenders at her, and she made the pass out of it.
First-year head coach Fred Shamil has lots of experience scouting against this Iowa team. He spent 8 years as an assistant under Dawn Staley at South Carolina. Played this team, lost to this team in last year's Final Fours. Clark gets it right back on the offensive rebound. Molly Davis wide open, and the former MAC player knocks down her first look.
And what beautiful ball movement, extra pass there from Kate Martin to find a better percentage look from Molly Davis, another player who's really starting to find her offense.
All-tournament team in Florida over the holidays as Bowling Green Clark threading the needle, and right there is Kate Martin for the easy finish.
Oh, and it looks like we got a foul call there. Let's see who they called that on. I think they called it on Bowling Green.
It is going to be on Bowling Green. That's the first on Olivia Hill.
But here's this read again from Caitlin Clark. They are doubling her off of the ball screens, and she's taking her time, seeing how things open up. Now 2 possessions in a row, finding the roller. That time Kate Martin knocking it down.
That's something Coach Bluter told us before the game. She's encouraging Caitlin, find your assists early on. You are going to score. You're walking 20 points plus, but find those opportunities, hunt them down.
Yeah, that was really interesting, and I think it's helped her teammates find more confidence.
Clark, and 1 off the curve.
And there's the point that Lisa Bluter was talking about will come, and I think the versatility of Caitlin Clark's game is sometimes overlooked by the logo 3. She is incredibly well controlled off of the bounce, absorbing the contact, getting it to go high off the glass. She has been aggressive early on in this opening couple minutes.
Coach Shamil of Bowling Green says she's a player. You don't stop her. You try to limit her. She is the center of their universe. How can you disrupt that? But Clark in a good flow here early. 2 of 3, 6 points and an assist so far. Velasco driving to the rim again. It's Zekin with the offensive rebound, and Goodman shuts her down. Up the floor, and what a stop! The block! Beautifully done by Bowling Green and Zekin. And then Clark will push the other way. Clark finding Marshall. She's got it!
What a gorgeous sequence. It is not easy to go behind the back at full speed in traffic, which Caitlin Clark just did. Gets to the paint and finds Marshall. That is like a textbook fast break.
Bowling Green continues to be cold from 3. 1 for 4.
Superstars in the building today.
I was going to say, it might be arguable at this point who the biggest star in the building is, but no doubt about it, those two love their women's basketball and have used their platforms to promote it.
And you saw the numbers there. Caitlin Clark scoring or assisting on 11 of the 14, and that feeds into what Lisa Bluder said about go and get those assists as well.
Inside, Sharon Goodman, but it's going to be an offensive foul. And remember, you're ignoring now that restricted arc, no longer a part of the women's game. It's purely the cylinder where the defender should be.
Yeah, beautiful take by Lexi Fleming, the senior leader of this team, who's only 5'5", setting up there against 6'3", Sharon Goodman.
Coach Emil says that she is fearless, missed a season of her career with an ACL injury, but one of the top players in the Mid-American Conference preseason second team this year. As a falter, is able to force a turnover by getting her hands right there.
We see Bowling Green looking to get a lot going off of the dribble, and Iowa has really started to adjust to that, really packing it into the paint and having somebody ready to step up high and to help as the drives come.
And the Falcons now bringing some full court pressure against the Hawkeyes, trailing now by 9. It's an 8-0 Iowa run over just the last 122 as they really found their stride here early.
Yeah, I like this move to go full court pressure because it's a smaller team. You want to use your speed, your explosiveness, but you have to be careful against this Iowa team who can break a press. They are scorching from the outside so far. That's the 4th triple for the Hawkeyes.
In 5 tries so far, Kim, and it's great to see Gabby Marshall in particular getting off to a hot start, coming off a 1-for-7 outplay.
And every field goal Sloan so far has been assisted for Iowa. 6 assists on 6 field goals made.
Fleming getting into the lane, and it's picked off by a falter, and she's going to push it. Multiple orange jerseys, does not matter.
And I love how Iowa guards outside of Caitlin Clark are really starting to come into their own in terms of being on the attack and just getting to the paint. Really strong drive from a falter.
Bowling Green has not scored the last 2 minutes plus as Lexi Fleming is fouled in the paint. And it's going to go on Caitlin Clark, her first. And Clark going to check out for Molly Davis. And Addie O'Grady also checking in. So the only starter on the floor right now, Gabby Marshall, is Kylie Feuerbach also checking in for the Hawkeyes. And a whistle will send it back to Iowa. An offensive foul.
He mentioned the movement of players in and out. I think Lisa Bluder is really starting to find some confidence in being able to go to her bench and knowing that there's not much of a drop-off once the starters come out.
Iowa still playing for the 3rd game without last year's Big Ten 6th Player of the Year, Hannah Stolke, missing her 3rd game with an injury. So still working out what that rotation looks like as Davis tries to flip it up and in. Running up ahead, good effort by Feuerbach using her length to poke that away.
Defensive energy was something that Lisa Bluder was also impressed with when her team won 3 games in 3 days down at the Gulf Coast Showcase. We're seeing that energy this afternoon.
Morgan Sharps new into the game for Bowling Green. Her 3rd game back after missing last year with an injury as well. 10 to shoot for the Falcons. It's Velasco trying to float it up. That's exactly what her game winner looked like, but off target there. excellently executed pick and roll with Molly Davis. You have Caitlin Clark on the bench, and they're still able to pick up an assist.
Yeah, talk about threading the needle. I thought that was about to be a turnover into a steal, but somehow Addie O'Grady picked that one up from Molly Davis.
3 assists per game, the last 4 from Molly Davis. Coming in relief for Caitlin Clark is Fleming. Knocks down a beautiful looking shot from long range.
Yeah, Fleming making about 3 threes per game. A great comeback story. You mentioned 2 seasons ago was out, and now her scoring's up from 9 points a game last year to 17 this year. And she averages 3 steals a game as well.
Picks up 1 right there. The trailer. And she's got it back to back. That is a fiery, competitive player. She's feeling it right now.
You know she's feeling it because she held the follow through. And we talked to Lexi yesterday, and what a pleasure it was to speak with her and also Morgan Sharks as well.
Ooh, O'Grady, forgotten about. She puts it away.
Yeah, caught the defense sleeping. Just that extra ball movement. Bowling Green fell asleep at the switch there.
Velasco lobbing it in. And the finish and the reverse is good for Bowling Green and Sophie Zekin. Kierbach now running the point, the Iowa State transfer. Next game for the Hawkeyes will be against the Cyclones in Ames. Gabby Marshall rethinking going along the baseline. 7 on the clock. On the floor. Possession arrow going the other way.
Really solid defensive possession for the Falcons in terms of cutting off any drives, not letting players get into the paint. And then we talked to Fred Shamil, and one thing he mentioned was the effort of this team, something he's never had to worry about. And we've seen that early on with multiple players diving on the floor for loose balls like we just saw Amy Velasco do.
It'll be interesting to see what the Falcons to do to eat away at this. Caitlin Clark back into the game after a couple-minute break here in the first quarter. They go into the post to Zekin, who's been an excellent spark off the bench, and she draws a late whistle against O'Grady.
Yeah, Sophie Zekin the last 2 possessions. I like how she's not settled for what's in front of her in terms of defense. She's putting the ball on the floor, trying to get under the rim a little bit, and that time able to draw the foul. And going right to left, just really physical, able to draw that foul. Not an overly amount of contact, but O'Grady did get her on the arm there.
First free throws for Bowling Green and first make. They're shooting 42% from the field, but it is Iowa with their 4 threes, just red hot to start. 9 for 13 as a team as Clark, eyes always roving, gets it over half court. Davis driving baseline. Kate Martin, what a move to the rim.
The 2 of them together, impressive. Davis with a little flash to her game on that baseline drive. And then Kate Martin not settling, attacking that rack.
Fleming trying to drop it in. That goes out of bounds, intended for Taya Ellis.
And we talked about the efficiency that Kate Martin has been playing with. Molly Davis drawing 3 defenders, just a simple ball fake. Help doesn't come over in time. Kate Martin, just a really tough matchup because of her size. At 6 foot, she can play inside out. She has the ability to take it off the dribble, and so far that efficiency continuing. 2 of 3 from the floor for Kate.
Career high for her this season, over 10 points per game as well, as you talked about in the open, upping her offensive play. Clark, long 3, and the long rebound comes away to Iowa. She wants it back. You
don't see that too often. Caitlin Clark missing twice in a row from the same spot.
Morgan Sharp, she is a sharpshooter, career 43% from long range. Misses right there as Clark wants to go all the way. O'Grady will finish it off for the assist.
And that's when you see Caitlin Clark kind of letting the game come to her. She just tried 2 wide open uncontested threes, didn't get them to drop, and that time she says, I'm taking it to the hole, and finds a teammate to dish to.
An example of the command she has over every part of the game when she's on the floor. 10 on the clock. Kohler puts it on the deck, and she travels. Iowa's been able to score 7 points off of Falcon turnovers, and that's something you always hear when you're trying to pull an upset. Dealing with those turnovers is a tough thing, especially this early on.
Yeah, it's something that you really have to pay attention to, ball protection, valuing possessions when you play Iowa because of how good they are in transition. One of the best pass-ahead players in Caitlin Clark, and now with a lot of weapons, starting to improve in terms of knocking down threes and taking it to the glass. A really well-balanced offense this has been the last couple of games for Iowa.
11-second difference, shot and game clock. The back door right there. Well done by Goodman and Clark teaming up for 2.
That's chemistry coming together. That's execution. You have to overplay Caitlin Clark. She recognizes that, and a sharp back cut to score.
Sharps has Clark on her beyond the 3-point line. And a good-looking mid-range J she's able to knock down.
And credit goes to Erica Porter for screening on that one.
After the first quarter, it is 29-6. Sharon Goodman blocked underneath. It is Marshall launching the 3, and that's her first miss. And there is Davis under the rim to dish it off to Martin.
One of the tiniest players on the floor, 5'7", just getting in position on that opposite block. All-around game so far for Miss Molly.
And let's not forget, Kim, she was one of the best scorers in the MAC when she was there. Her second season here at Iowa, decides to elevate her game, the challenges playing in the Big Ten, accepts a role-playing type of position, but she's still got it. Fleming, that 3 not there.
Yeah, Coach Bluter, we talked to her this morning. Molly Davis was named to the all-tournament team down in Florida, and she said it was incredible to see the genuine love that her teammates gave her for that.
Clark will take it to the rim.
Impressive, impressive.
Lexi Fleming can't get the 3-point play, but she will be shooting 2 on a heads-up transition look for the Falcons.
And here's Caitlin. Woo, I mean, talk about another player toying him with the ball. Just attacking, turning the corner, going left to right. I think she wanted a foul as well. But I've said it before, Sloan, I think Caitlin Clark is equally as impactful driving like that as she is with her game-changing 3-pointers.
When the ball is in her hand, it almost feels like she's controlling the puppet strings, like she is in command of what is happening around her. And you see it on a play like that, where she is able to go to whatever spot she wants to.
What a metaphor, Sloan. I like that. I totally can see that.
Couple free throws there for Fleming. And Velasco is going to be whistled. A little too much contact against Clark to put on the Jets.
And it's a tough team to press because Caitlin Clark catches the ball on the move, and it's hard to not foul her or let her blow by you on a play like that. So you definitely have to be a little bit strategic in picking your spots when to press Iowa.
Of course, Velasco picking her up on the other side of half-court 2. Clark going to take her into the paint, and that drops through for 2.
That's what it's grown woman basketball there is what came to mind. I mean, just taking control of the play, pulling up, elevating, big time pro move there.
12 points on a tidy 5 of 8. I'm sure that caught Sue Bird's attention too, who's here courtside, who's recognized in front of this crowd. Give a nice friendly wave too. She's used to being recognized with this kind of love. Kate Martin underneath. Beautiful basketball by Iowa in transition again, and they have their largest lead of today.
A little bit more difficult in terms of not allowing Iowa to have the visibility to make those full court passes.
Kohler will put up a three. She drains it. The fourth of the game for the Falcons.
Yeah, I think the Falcons have had better success shooting from three than on their attacks because Iowa has defended the paint really well. So they found some success from deep.
Caitlin Clark can't hit right there, and a Falter who's been a menace on the boards this season puts that right back up and in.
And that's what can't happen when you play Iowa, a team that averages about 90 a game. You can't give them extra opportunities. You have to lock up the glass after once.
Velasco has that knocked out of bounds.
Iowa getting it done on the offensive glass this time. Sydney a falter, and you saw no box out there. That can't happen against this Iowa team who doesn't need any additional help scoring points,
especially from such a high percentage spot. Velasco flipping it up, and that won't go through. Clark loses it, and she will turn it over. 3-on-1, and Fleming has that knocked away or missed. Either way, the pressure was coming down her neck from Martin stampeding down the floor.
Yeah, a nice sequence, defense to offense. A.B. Velasco frustrating Caitlin Clark a little bit with active hands on the other end. And then this is one where you have to know that somebody is chasing you down. Kate Martin at 6 foot, but again, kind of settling into the game here for Bowling Green on the road, big time atmosphere.
Clark almost gets in there. That frees up Velasco, and she can't knock down the long-range shot. Clark finding O'Grady, and she'll be shooting too. And we're seeing more of this unselfish basketball by Iowa.
Yeah, what's impressive, if you're a young player watching this game, what impresses me a lot about Caitlin Clark, everything is eyes up, everything is head up, so that she's seeing the vision, everything that's opening up, and that just comes from hours and hours of ball handling drills.
It's also, of course, this fearlessness that it doesn't matter who's running out her, she's looking to accomplish a certain thing.
Yeah, and Fred Shamil, coach of Bowling Green, I forget how he phrased it, but he basically said that Caitlin Clark is willing to take risks that a lot of other players aren't comfortable doing, and I thought that was a really interesting point.
And it says a lot about the culture of this program, too, why so many players want to play for Lisa Bluder, why it is rare to see players transferring out. They have so much attrition right here because there's that kind of trust in that system that players want to play in. Midway through the second quarter, it's been all Iowa from the start. Someone got a piece of that, and it will stay Bowling Green basketball. Timeout is called here at Carver Hawkeye Arena. 42-23 is the Hawkeye lead.
Christian McCaffrey.
Meanwhile, on the floor, we're seeing a good show from the Iowa Hawkeyes, leading 42-23. Midway through the second quarter as Porter along the baseline finds Velasco. 5 to shoot for Fleming, a long three. She misfires, a falter chasing after it. And it will be Iowa basketball.
And Bowling Green is getting some looks that they want. Iowa's electing to go under ball screens, so they've gotten some of their best three-point shooters, Morgan Sharps, Lexi Fleming. They've gotten them looks, but they just can't get them to fall consistently so far in this first half.
Iowa continues to shoot above 60% up to this point in the game. 64 to be exact. Here is Fleming breaking out and finishing on the right side.
Great anticipation from Lexi Fleming. As we mentioned, she averages 3 steals per game, getting in the passing lane and jumping that pass.
She is so competitive that Coach Shamil says, I even have to build her up and rein her in because she'll be too hard on herself. The Hawkeyes scoring a high percentage look inside by O'Grady.
Great read from Sydney Falter, noticing that O'Grady had her defender on the front side, lobbing it in over the top.
Sharps into the lane, and that drops through. Before those back-to-back buckets, the Falcons had been one for the last 11, but they do not get back in a falter. Has an easy two.
There's that vision again from Caitlin Clark. She never looks down when she's dribbling. Her teammates know that. If they keep moving, Caitlin Clark will find you.
5 assists for Clark here in the first half. Porter was calling for it, almost loses it, and then she's fouled. Foul is going to go on a falter, her first. See Clark's numbers there, 12 points, 5 of 9 shooting. But she's really taken a balanced approach, I would say.
Yeah, she's really getting her teammates involved. A lot of it is coming in transition, letting things open up naturally.
Just a look at her last assist.
Nice camera angle here, and you see Sydney Falter just beating the post players, running right to the rim, and Bowling Green has to be a little bit more attentive to the transition defense.
Falter, someone with the loss of McKenna Warnock, Monica Sonano, seeing a lot more playing time, playing a major role too, especially on the glass, as Clark finds Goodman from the free throw line, and there is a falter. You have to box her out.
Yeah, Sydney Falter just has a knack for being in the right place at the right time, not getting boxed out, and really crashing the glass.
Along the baseline, that does not go for Sharps. Another quick look, hand in her face, that is well short.
Again, Morgan Sharps known for being a three-point shooter.
Kylie Fierbach going all the way, but it is waved off. An offensive foul. Great job by Hill stepping in. That is the second on Fierbach.
Iowa just finding scoring in different areas this afternoon. Sydney Falter has gotten a couple of O boards earlier. Bowling Green has to box out every single possession. You can't afford to let Iowa get easy second chance points.
Especially knowing how tenacious a Falter has been. That's got to be line number 1 on your scouting report against her. Fleming being guarded by Marshall. Tries to take her all the way. Misses everything. Here's Porter. She can't put it back up and through.
Another one, great look for Bowling Green, just having a tough time converting here the last couple of possessions.
Down to 31% shooting, Iowa 66%. That has stayed consistent, has not dropped. McCabe, surprised to find herself all alone. She can't put it away. Two minutes to play before halftime. Fleming, nice look, touches every part of the rim and goes through.
Fleming, nice looking three-point jumper. She's making about 3 per game. She started to catch some fire here from deep in the first half.
Second in this game to double figures behind Clark's 12. Marshall dropping it down to Goodman, and she did travel.
Yeah, that's kind of a tough spot to feed your post player just because there were already 2 help defenders waiting for her. So you're asking your post player to make the catch, not shuffle the feet. So that one you may want to just pivot out and kick that one out, allow Sharon Goodman to repost with better position.
Falcons getting into their half-court set. And a Falter says, I'll just take that. And she's fouled.
Yeah, the length of Sydney Falter has been impressive on both ends of the floor. Plays like that, getting her hands on passes, and then at the other end in terms of attacking the offensive glass. Really a great weapon for Lisa Bluder off the bench. Somebody who seems like they're really starting to become more confident in what they can bring to this Hawkeyes team.
You remember early on this season, she had 14 rebounds against Virginia Tech, so she knows how to put her stamp on a game when given the opportunity in the minutes. Clark, double team, quickly gets it away. The Falcons sticking with the Hawkeyes here. 3 to shoot for Clark. And Fleming chases it down. 2-on-1. But Kate Martin denies it.
Ooh, excuse us. Kate Martin, and she let out a yell after that one. Got the crowd into it a little bit. The chase down from behind. Yep, she's letting the crowd know. Impressive. That looks like an easy layup for Bowling Green. And Kate Martin said, not today, not in my house.
Clark almost with the steal. Velasco, long three. A good box out by Davis. Contributions all over the place, whether it is Martin with a couple of blocks, Davis with her scoring, a Falter with her rebounding, Goodman with some easy finishes inside. Davis uses the Goodman screen. Clark won't get it off in time, so at the half, 48-32 is the Iowa lead.
Yeah, well-defended final possession for...
They were excited to play in this environment because of how this program and Clark have really helped to elevate the entire sport. They just had this gratitude for being here, too. 10 to shoot for the Falcons. First possession of the second half. And Fleming's going to have to make something happen. She gets free for three. And that will be a shot clock violation.
And I like the intent there from Bowling Green to really run through their offense, to not settle for an early look. But we also have to give credit to the Iowa defense, who is really not giving up much. They're communicating on screens. They always seem to be in the right place to provide help. They held Bowling Green to just 30% shooting so far in this game.
Coach Shamil told us there would be different looks, different schemes defensively, but this time it results in a layup for the Hawkeyes, shooting over 60%. Kate Martin that time.
How good has Kate Martin been just off of one dribble and using her explosiveness, kind of just gliding to the rim a couple times?
Already 10 points. That's what she's been averaging this season as Velasco gets to the cup.
I was here a few weeks ago. Lisa Bluter said Kate Martin was incredibly impressive in the summer. They hadn't yet seen that happen in their games, and we've seen it in their last 5 games.
Caitlin Clark, no good from three. There's Molly Davis. She's pushed from behind. A couple players take a tumble, but they're all right.
Molly Davis has had a great attention to rebounding in this game for one of the smaller players on the floor. Only 3 rebounds at this point, but I feel like at least 2 of them are offensive. You'll see her getting in there.
Clark, beautiful dish to Goodman for her first bucket. Got the 6th assist for Clark. And Kohler, the freshman, staying in with her 3 personals. And Kohler going right at Clark, and she smothers that shot.
Yeah, that's a tough scene. Just a senior going right at a freshman. Paige Kohler has been really impressive, but Caitlin saying no to that one. What a beautiful dish over to Sharon Goodman, reading that double team, and then getting the block on the other end. Playing both ends of the floor today, Caitlin Clark.
5 seconds for the Falcons. Velasco is going to go up and under, and she's got it.
Amy Velasco has been impressive with her footwork around the rim, little step-through ability.
Sharon Goodman takes her time and finishes for 2.
And that's somebody Iowa would love to get more attempts, because Sharon Goodman is shooting 74% on the season coming into this one.
It feels like video game numbers, but it's absolutely true. In their 3 games in Florida, she was 13 of 16. And that is just the kind of post player you get here at Iowa under Jan Jensen. Clark, no good from 3 that time. And a foul going for that loose rebound.
And how about the viciousness that Kate Martin continues to exude on the defensive end? Now a couple of blocks. And she is just, it's been so high energy. It's been fun to watch. She's committed to both ends of the floor. This is really a phenomenal showing, I think, for Kate Martin and the abilities that she possesses.
She has been this under-the-radar player for years. And the spotlight rightly on Caitlin Clark. But paying attention to Kate Martin and the impact she has on every possession, no matter where.
Well, Lisa Bluter, when I talked to her a couple weeks ago, said Kate Martin looked like a pro this summer, and she was waiting to see that come into the games. And now I think we're seeing what she can do at the next level.
Iowa loses the Falcons right underneath, and the easy finish by Zekin is at 54-38. Iowa led 6-5 in the first quarter as Martin is fouled. They went on a 15-0 run, broke the game open, and have been in command since. And that on the gas pedal this game.
This possession is just smart basketball because Bowling Green switched the screen as Caitlin Clark runs out to the perimeter. And Iowa recognizes that because of that, Kate Martin has a seal on the inside. And Molly Davis fires it right into her.
Kate Martin, outstanding, efficient, do it all.
Upset though after that missed free throw. But
upset
other than that,
point play,
she's having a great game.
That's just the standard that she holds herself to. Fleming getting free against Marshall, kicks it out. Under 10 on the clock for the Falcons. Fleming launching a three, and that's left short.
Another possession where Iowa just will not let ball handlers get by them.
Goodman keeps her hands up, and it goes out of bounds. And an example there of the cohesion that this Iowa team is still trying to find without Monica Sinano.
Yeah, Sharon Goodman didn't play much last season because of the dominance of Monica Sinano, so I think she's still getting used to the catches and the hands when she does catch it. She's incredibly efficient, but maybe that transition flow game is still taking a little bit of time to settle in for her.
Bluter was even saying this week, it's taken the better part of 2 years for her to return from an ACL injury. It's really been only this fall that she's even reached 100%, so she's still getting her footing as well, seeing a full-time role this year. Providing the defense inside, but too much by Zekin, staying patient on the play.
Impressive there, a little bit undersized, but sticking with it.
Caitlin Clark just puts her head
left to make her feel a little bit more uncomfortable. She thought that was a block. I thought she may have had a good argument there. We'll see if we get another look at it.
And Kim, that would have been her third, and that would have been tying her career high. She's got 2 today.
And she has been really good, just fighting her way across the lane, going right, using her size, that strength. You could just see core strength there in terms of absorbing contact and staying vertical.
And remarkably, that was Clark's first point since 7:04 on the clock. So this Iowa team doesn't miss a beat, and even if she's not scoring every other possession, it feels like.
Bowling Green, I mean, not a bad showing out of the locker room. Great energy. Down just 15 against a team that averages 90 a game, but there's that right-handed drive again. If I'm defending Caitlin Clark, I am making her go to the left. She's clearly very comfortable on that right side.
Is it also difficult, Kim, because you don't know when she's going to pull up, and it's so quick.
Yeah, and she's earned that right. I mean, you have to figure out how to defend her. You can't really give her anything.
Zekin has been working in this second half, keeping Bowling Green within striking distance. Clark drawing a crowd. Marshall's been quiet since the first quarter. She started out 2 for 2 from 3, hasn't found her opportunity since.
And that time they cut off the right-handed drive and doubled, got Caitlin Clark to give it up.
And with 10 seconds on the clock, it's a foul on the Falcons, who looked like they were moving quite well with this Hawkeye ball movement. Timeout is called, 59-44.
Tell Caitlin Clark to stop shooting threes. I mean, a score of that magnitude is getting up good attempts as Sydney Falter sneaks in there for an easy 2. But I think Caitlin Clark is making sure that she's not settling for deep threes, especially when they're not falling at a high rate.
she's always going to have the green light. We know her role in this system of Falter with the three-point play attempt. But you also do think about that shot selection at the next level too, and I think you're right bringing it up that she's finding success and she keeps going to it.
Not just a green light for Caitlin Clark, it's a neon. It is flashing and pretty much anywhere once you hit the half-court line.
It's the size of a mountain. Inside to Zekin. And the double team comes. Good response by Iowa trying to thwart her, and it works.
Yeah, Zekin had gotten comfortable on the paint. That time a little bit of a different look, sending over the double team, getting hands on the ball. And it was Sydney Falter again. We've talked about her activity, her length, how she's using it on both ends. Love that hustle. Both teams getting after it on the floor. And I mean, if you take away that first quarter where Iowa outscored Bowling Green 29-16, it's been almost even in the second and third quarter.
Bowling Green 5 of 10 in this third quarter. And something we learned from Coach Shamil. He says this team has heart. They are fearless. They have 2 wins this season where they were down in the final minute. They fight. No surprise to see that here at Carver Hawkeye Arena. O'Grady can't get it to fall one more time, and she will head to the charity stripe to shoot 2.
And that is an area where Bowling Green continues to struggle in this matchup. They're a bit undersized against the Iowa Bigs. Another beautiful drive and dish from Kate Martin, but you can't let Addison O'Grady, there's 3 orange jerseys, and then Addison O'Grady, you cannot let her get that rebound.
And that's going to be the 3rd on Velasco. 6 points today, 4 assists as well. But O'Grady, another player when we talk about getting multiple contributions, players embracing their roles. That's what she's been doing today.
Yeah, and it's big with Hannah Stolke out, the starting center for a 3rd consecutive game. You're starting to build that depth in the front court.
There is the 3 for Sharps, had been 0 for 5, but a 43% career shooter. That's what Bowling Green needs.
Yeah, Morgan Sharps had been out for about 10 months, just returning from an injury, her 3rd game back.
Sydney Falter, the easy finish. She is so active, and you get rewarded.
I feel like she's the unsung hero of this game. She's just making simple plays, nothing flashy. She's probably not going to show up in too many highlight reels, but she's just made simple plays that have made big differences.
6 for 6, 12 points, matches her season high. Her career high is 14.
Look at this beautiful camera angle and just a simple backdoor cut. Sydney Falter, I feel like she just has a great feel for the game. She's in control. She's making the right plays. That time, just a simple cut.
Pressure coming from the Falcons. Fleming still maintaining that high intensity defensively and offensively. Feuerbach looking for that pick and roll just out of the range of O'Grady. She finds Davis though, and a deep post up for Kate Martin will earn her a trip to the free throw line.
Another impressive offensive possession where Iowa just continues to move that ball around, to get everybody involved, to not settle for looks. And anytime Kate Martin has gotten the ball tonight, pretty good things have happened. She's into double digits.
You ask her teammates, and they will say the one person they can imagine being a coach when they get to that point in their lives is Kate Martin. Of course, the daughter of one, grew up around her football coaching father, around those players, was in the weight room. That's where her toughness comes from. But she also brings not only the intensity, but calmness simultaneously.
Yeah, I was going to say her motor has really impressed. She's exerted maximum energy on every single possession. She has 3 blocks. She's showing the impact she can make on the defensive end as well.
10 on the clock for Velasco. Bowling Green continually having to go deep into the shot clock with this Iowa defense. Fleming in trouble, forces it up. And that will be a shot clock violation as Fleming refusing to let go of the ball.
And at many points in this game, Iowa's putting a clinic on keeping players in front of you. They are moving their feet, they're moving laterally, they're not reaching in for fouls, and it's made Bowling Green have to really work for opportunities because a lot of their offense is driving, and they just haven't been able to get many looks inside.
Everybody going back, it looks like, to their respective benches. Could there... Oh, there is a timeout called on the floor. 66-47 is the Leafs. A falter gets out ahead, and she finishes. That ties her career high, 14 points today. A perfect day, 7 of 7.
I sound like a broken record, but her length is impressive, her wingspan, and she is using it efficiently. And Sloan, going back to that promo, Lisa Bluder was worried about the crowd today because she thought a lot of their fans would go to Indianapolis for the Big Ten championship, but I don't see too many empty seats in the building.
We don't have an official tally at this very moment, but I can tell you it probably is 5 digits, and that is the kind of crowd any program would kill for on any given day, and it just so happens to be on a football championship day as well here in Iowa City. Sharon Goodman, a great third quarter for the center. And in fact, let me just update that, Kim. We're almost near 15,000, the official count, 14,998.
I believe that's their capacity number, so it is another sold-out afternoon here at Carver Hawkeye.
Hey, maybe if you went to Indy, you were giving away your tickets to your friend, your neighbor, because it's hard to get into this building. They have been sold out as Caitlin Clark comes back into the game. One of the hottest show in town.
What a great day if you're an Iowa Hawkeyes fan. You get the women's matinee, you gear up for the championship game. I don't know if there's any other sports playing today, but that is a pretty perfect day in my opinion.
Hawkeyes hoping both go their way. Taylor McCabe dishes it off to Goodman. They lost Kate Martin, and she puts it away.
Kate Martin moves so well without the basketball a couple of times now. She's gotten easy looks just from hard cuts to the rim.
15 points on 6 of 8 shooting for Kate Martin. This is coming off a game in which she played 35 minutes, had a double-double, 11 points, 10 rebounds in their win over K-State. And that was a really gutsy victory after they had been handled by the Wildcats in their own building. They get, coincidentally, a rematch against K-State in Florida. That seemed like a pretty good gut check kind of moment for this team to reverse that result against a really tough Big 12 opponent.
Yeah, they weren't happy after that one. It was a really tough shooting night, but we have seen a resounding response for this team, winning 4 games after that loss. You mentioned beating Kansas State, but Kate Martin really putting a lot of people on alert.
Clark gets herself into the dreaded corner, and it does not go according to plan. But she's got a smile about it.
Bowling Green with a chance to score on the final possession here. The leading scorer, Lexi Fleming, going to come back into the game. Plenty of time here for them to make a little bit of noise in what's been a solid third.
Do you have a nickname for that corner? 3 seconds left for the Falcons. And Kohler, no good. So after 3, 72-47 is the Hawkeye lead.
Just one miss from Addison O'Grady, 2 of 4 players in double figures for the Hawkeyes.
Long range shot does not fall for Hill, and Caitlin Clark nabs the board. Whipping it inside to Goodman, and she's gonna put that down with Fleming guarding.
What a gorgeous pass. We had the perfect angle on that. She just whipped it in there. It had like a bowling ball spin to it, one hand. I mean, that is the magic of Caitlin Clark. What a pass.
And how nice it is when you're a post and you have a point guard who immediately recognizes the mismatch, gets it to you. Goodman playing it off the glass after her own block. Clark, long range 3. It has not been falling today, and she made her first, now 1 for 8.
Yeah, it was.
And it's remarkable to talk about that being a work in progress when you have Sharon Goodman shooting 74%, but it still very much is. Kohler good on the free throw. 8:25 on the clock. Molly Davis checking back in. We were highlighting role players, those specifically off the bench, Grady and a Falter. But Davis today, you look at 5 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists. It feels modest, but it's been anything but.
Yeah, you look at this team and they're becoming increasingly difficult to defend. I think you watch those first couple games, the Virginia Tech win, it was a lot of Caitlin Clark, but now it's Caitlin Clark and company.
Clark determined to find that stroke as she points to the crowd. She's got it from 3.
High degree of difficulty on that one. I'm pretty sure it was off of one leg, leaning away. Now she's fired up on the defensive end.
Doesn't matter how many you miss in a row, the next one's going in is her mentality. Clark surveying, thought about it from the logo. Can't go back to back.
Ted Lasso wanted that one.
Hey, he's seen plenty of Caitlin Clark too, but that would have been getting him out of the seats.
Really nice continued movement there from Bowling Green and Amy Velasco.
Goodman from the high post, kicking it out to Marshall. 2-player game resulting in free throws for Goodman. The cohesion, chemistry, and ball movement on display.
Yeah, I thought that was almost a little too unselfish from Gabby Marshall. I think she could have taken a look, but we got to revisit this one. That was really off of one leg from Caitlin Clark. Not sure who she pointed. Just see the spring in her step pick up a little bit after she knocks down a shot like that.
Normally you feel like that kind of finger point would be in a road environment. She loves playing with road opponents and their crowds.
Well, we were talking to Lisa Bluter about this before the game. Iowa is selling out a bunch of their games on the road this season. That's how you know the impact you have on this game.
Even though down the line of their schedule, it's either going to be a sellout or the largest crowd they've ever had or largest crowd in X number of years. In Florida, thousands of fans were there to see them in a holiday tournament.
It's like they're going on tour. They are a band just touring the country. Everybody's coming out to see them on the road.
Meanwhile, first career double-double for Sharon Goodman, and it's been that kind of depth here for the Hawkeyes, especially because after the first half, she had not scored, was 0 for 2. Clark, hand in her face, that time doesn't go, was looking for the foul. That time delivers a bump.
She's not happy with the call, but come on, Caitlin, you clearly ran right into her, but she's gonna make her case. I mean, I guess she would argue that Sharps initiated the contact, but you can't get in the path of the ball handler. But hey, we know Caitlin Clark is always going to plead her case to the official.
Hey, she looked like a Hawkeye tight end there, just trying to lay a block down, inspired on this football championship Saturday.
And in the tone for tonight.
Fleming slowing things down for the Falcons. And the floater, beautiful.
Pretty floater from Lexi Fleming.
But that allows Kate Martin to sprint down the court for 2.
Talk about football comparisons. I mean, that looks like quarterback to wide receiver. We've seen it a couple times. Caitlin Clark, QB1. Down the floor to Kate Martin. Those two turning into quite a duo. Iowa is impressed with her, as I've been with Caitlin Clark. She's using her length. She's playing both ends of the floor. She has 3 blocks as well. We mentioned in the last 4 games, shooting 72% from the floor. Look at this intensity on defense from Kate Martin.
Brings it every single possession, the glue for this team. Goodman snaring another rebound already. Her first career double-double. And Iowa's going to reset here, approaching the midway point of the 4th quarter. Game they've never trailed. Clark into traffic, and free throws coming up.
Clark showing us a little post-up ability. Point guard getting down there on the block, using a little bit of footwork, but she is not afraid to go up against 2 defenders. You see her use that length, her frame. She will not shy away from the contact.
Clark no good on the first. Just 1 for 1 in this game. Falcons have done a good job keeping her away from the free throw line. And with that, she's got her 9th 20-point scoring game this season. 20 points on 8 of 18 from the floor.
The consistency night to night, from year to year, freshman to senior, is just unbelievable.
Velasco launching from 3, and she's got it. That's 7 for the Falcons.
Yeah, they've had some nice moments. They're going to be a problem to deal with in the MAC. People maybe not expecting it, losing 4 or 5 starters.
Clark loses it, gets it back, and then the finish. Also 1 assist shy of a double-double. Velasco being guarded by Clark once more. Sharps closed in on by Jada Jimfy. Her first action today. And Clark's got it. Jimfy dishing it up, immediately coming in and making an impact. Goodman with the easy 2.
I liked on that possession. Sharon Goodman had a mismatch early. They didn't find her, but she kept doing the work. She kept finding position and getting open for that easy 2.
In my peripheral vision, too, I saw Kate Martin on the bench with that assist by Jimfy, who's limited playing time for this team. She jumped up, was so excited to see the contribution from Jimfy in her 2nd season.
Back to the Hawk cam, I'm going to call it. Good spacing here from Iowa. Jimfy taking it off the bounce, and Sharon Goodman just has found incredible position, especially in the 2nd half, getting on the inside of her defender. More unselfish play from the Hawkeyes.
The Hawk cam, I love that. I just imagine a nest up there, the camera, getting us a great look. Caitlin Clark, the handle on target today.
That right-handed drive, finding her gaps.
And then she's so slippery when she is able to penetrate.
Yeah, it's smooth when she goes to the rim, just like a gazelle, riding through, keeping the ball alive. It's smooth, Sloan. That is smoothness.
24 points for her, shooting 50%. That's even shooting 2 of 11 from 3-point range.
Crimson. No yellow is what they wanted to achieve.
Hey, to be fair, though, the Cyclones do get great support
for the
women's basketball program. They're frequently within that top tier of attendance, but I'm interested to see how this team reacts to that, knowing there is going to be a lot of red/crimson.
I feel like that's what Caitlin Clark lives for. Like, she just salivates for those moments.
She wants to hear it from the opposing crowd. Tell me what you really think, and then I'll sink this 3. 3:30 to play. Velasco weaves her way back to the 3-point line. Long 3 for Fleming. Perfect swish.
Nice inside-out offense for the Falcons.
Jimfy running the floor, and she gets rewarded.
When Caitlin Clark is your point guard, reward is the perfect word. As long as you run the floor, you will benefit from an easy layup more times than not.
Another thing as a post player, exactly what you want to see from your point guard, because you're running baseline to baseline, and then you get the easy 2. Another double-double for Clark, her 4th this season. She needs 2 more to go top 10 in 10 history. And how about Jada Jimfy off the bench? And she's got 5 points.
Her teammates are loving this. It's showing the versatility as a post player. Knocking down that triple.
Lisa Bluter said she thought their game against Florida Gulf Coast was their most efficient, complete game of the season. They were 20 of 33 from 3. But I think this might go up there too, even though they have 2 top 10 victories this season, just because of the depth, the contributions, and what they've been able to put on display top to bottom.
Yeah, I think we're seeing the full core players, depth off the bench as Caitlin Clark is going to get a well-deserved seat. Another double-double, near triple-double numbers. 24 points, 11 assists for Miss Clark. But I just see an Iowa team that brimming with confidence. Players outside of Caitlin Clark.
Seems like that loss against K-State, which they said was unacceptable. They really called themselves out, were accountable to themselves and to each other, really lit a fire. They have been on a roll and are close to going to 8-1 this season. AJ Ediger new into the game, as is Kenise Johnson for the Hawkeyes.
Are seeing so many different players start